The Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, also known as the Affordable Care Act, is a United States federal statute signed into law by President Obama on March 23, 2010. Together with the Health Care and Education Reconciliation Act, it represents the most significant regulatory overhaul of the U.S. healthcare system since the passage of Medicare and Medicaid back in 1965. What are the key things to know about the Affordable Care Act? Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Public Information Officer from the Department of Insurance and Financial Services for the state of Michigan, Caleb Buhs. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So you're going to help us understand this Affordable Care Act, and us here in Michigan, we should be educated enough as consumers to cut through all the red tape and know what we're doing, correct?
That's what my goal is here today. Yes, I'll give it a shot.
What are the most common questions, concerned issues that you have folks coming to you now and asking, and what are the answers to those questions? Well,
some of the most common questions that we're getting into our office are, what do I need to do? So folks aren't quite sure with the federal mandates that are out there what their responsibilities are, and that's where we're trying to help people. Essentially, if you already have insurance coverage and you're going to have insurance coverage on January 1st, 2014 going forward, then you are set. You've satisfied the mandate and there's nothing you need to do. And that goes for folks who have employer coverage currently or have Medicare or are still going to be eligible for Medicaid. You don't need to do anything. You've satisfied the individual mandate. For those who do not have coverage or may have individual coverage or have plans that have been canceled and they've received a cancellation notice, then you need to have essentially have health coverage beginning on January 1st in order to avoid the tax penalties that will come into play in 2014.
And in order to get that coverage, you're supposed to go online to healthcare.gov and figure it all out.
Exactly. It's just that simple. But obviously, there's been, I'm sure everybody's heard about the problems with healthcare.gov, and people are having some difficulties getting through. Some of that's being cleared up now, but that is the source for you to go if you want to be available, well, to check your availability for tax credits to help lower the cost of health insurance. So healthcare.gov is the only website that you can go to get those tax credits.
It's my understanding that you don't have to go to that website and you don't have to use healthcare.gov at all if you know, I don't qualify for any of those tax credits. So can you still just go ahead and purchase coverage through whatever healthcare company you might want to research on your own, skip the whole healthcare.gov?
Absolutely. You still have all the essentially all the available options you had before. Let's say you're an individual or you have your a business out of your home and you don't have health coverage available to you and you purchased it through an insurance agent or directly through an insurer, you can continue to go ahead and do that. The reason you would go to healthcare.gov is one, to check. You can shop around for rates there. It's one simple place where you can see all the options available to you in one place, whereas if you were to go to one insurer, they're going to show you their options only. And also just to check and see if you're available for tax credits. It's up to 400% of the poverty level is where the cutoff is for tax credit availability. So for a family of four, that's up to about $92,000, $95,000 a year. So some people who may not believe they're eligible for tax credits should at least go and check it out.
Very quickly, stay away from scam artists right now.
Yes, that's something people need to be aware of. If you get a phone call, we've heard of people getting phone calls asking that they need to get their Obamacare card. There's no such thing as an Obamacare card in the Affordable Care Act. Exactly. If you have Medicare, you don't need a new Medicare card. That's another. People target seniors on these sort of things a lot. And it's whenever there's confusion in a governmental program, people use that as a window to get in and try and take advantage of that.
Ask questions, get educated. Thank you so much for joining us today. For more information on today's topic, you can visit michigan.gov/DIFS. Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Caleb Buhs, the Public Information Officer for the Department of Insurance and Financial Services for the state of Michigan.